So today we've got something super special for you. I'm back in the kitchen with my best mate, Sammy Sweetheart, at his restaurant, Frank's Oyster Bar down in Blenheim. So we've collaborated on a super cool menu. We're gonna run you through a couple of the recipes.
We've got quite a bit of prep to do, so we better crack on.
Come on, mate.
It's been quite a while since I've cooked in the kitchen, and to add to the pressure, I'm cooking with someone who I respect personally and professionally, so...
Stop flattering me.
So this Gruyere Souffle dish, we used to cook a long time ago when we worked together at a restaurant called Gill's Diner in Melbourne. It's a pretty classic old dish that I first started cooking at a restaurant called Felix in Sydney.
Sam's not so secret, Sharpie special, and yum yum.
The cornerstone to any good kitchen, MSG and Sharpies.
Yeah.
Okay, so Gruyere Souffle, pretty simple. The recipe, as always, will be below for this. We've got our milk, and we're gonna infuse that with some onion and some nutmeg.
Spoon, chef.
Oh, sorry, chef. Get your dirty fingers out of there. So this goes on that heat to infuse. And then we're gonna make a roux in a separate pot. So butter, and then we're gonna whisk in our flour. And then we're gonna whisk the milk into that once we've taken our onion out. So while that's happening, Sammy's just whisking those egg whites because I'm not moving fast enough, so he's just kind of...
Just gonna have to pick up these
pick
bits
up the
of shell as well. Honestly, it's hard to soar like an eagle when you're surrounded by turkeys.
Just realised that I've used a small pot. I'm gonna change it. In goes our flour, and you're just gonna cook that out till it smells like cookies. All right, now our roux has cooked out for about 4 minutes. We're gonna start adding our infused milk and whisking it in.
With those guns, chef.
I know, mate. I'm gonna hold it over my head in a second. All right, so we've got a nice thick roux. Heat off, in goes the cheese. Tablespoon of mustard. Actually, I'm gonna get 2. It's a lot of cheese.
When in Rome.
Yep.
I would offer to tap in, but I like watching him go through the punishment. We're actually changing the name of this segment to Andy Washes. He's just gonna do dishes all night.
All right, cheese is melted. So egg yolks in. Whisk those through. Messy boy.
Looks okay to me, chef. Go on. Do you know that's one of Andy's 5 essential cooking tools for any kitchen?
I'm glad you've been watching, Sammy.
Of course, mate.
All right, so our roux, our cheesy base is ready. We're gonna fold these whites through really carefully, off the heat obviously, so we don't cook them too quickly. And then we're gonna pour them into those ramekins. So we're gonna really carefully fold these in so we don't lose too much air. All right, so I'm gonna fill up our greased ramekins, kindly provided by Sammy. You want them about halfway to 3/4 full, because they will rise. Now this is a pretty rich, cheesy dish, so what are we garnishing?
Just like you,
Just
mate,
like
rich and cheesy.
So what are we garnishing with?
We're going to garnish it with a nice little mesclun salad with some candied walnuts.
Stunning.
And a cheeky little French vinaigrette. Might be a competitor for dish of the night. Although I think this raw beef dish is going to give it a run for its money.
Very good. All right, so these go into a 190-degree oven for about 20 minutes. Then we're going to pull them out, we'll cool them down, and then we'll flash them through the oven again before service, or when we're ready to serve, garnish and good to go. But we'll show you the rest of this a bit later on. Stunning.
Fingers crossed.
Right, time for you to shine, Seppi.
Ooh, no pressure.
Sammy Sweetheart,
Here we go.
what are we making?
We are going to make a little raw beef dish, beef tartare essentially, but I kind of stray away from calling it beef tartare because people get pissed off when it's not the classic. So this is a raw beef dish with, we're going to make a little smoked mussel aioli, some potato crisps, and that's going to be on the menu tonight. Beautiful. So we're just going to run through a bit of the prep stuff, and hopefully I don't chop my fingers off on another one of Andy's top 5 kitchen essentials. So first we're just going to slice the potatoes nice and thinly. Again, as I believe Andy mentioned in his top 5 kitchen essentials video, you probably should use a guard for this, but I've been there and done that and got the scars to prove it. I did myself a doozy a couple of weeks ago, very close to a trip to A&E.
That's accident and emergency for those non-Kiwis.
Cool, so that should be enough.
Do you want me to fry those off?
Yes, chef. And then we're gonna get on to making the smoked mussel aioli. So, got some lovely smoked mussels here that we've got the mussels from a lovely local company called Mills Bay, and we have smoked them ourselves. A little bit of lemon juice, Dijon mustard. And then we're just gonna blend that until it's reasonably smooth. Just gonna grab another one of Andy's top 5 kitchen essentials. That's gonna go all day, that joke, by the way. Scrape that down just to make sure we get all the chunky bits off. And then we're gonna go in with 6 egg yolks. Let that emulsify, and then we're gonna start slowly adding in vegetable oil to create our mayonnaise. Once it gets to a point where it's reasonably thick, you wanna add in a tiny little bit of cold water. Stops the mayonnaise from getting too thick and helps you to add more oil in without it splitting. A bit more lemon juice. It shouldn't need salt because the mussels themselves are already quite salty.
A bit like you, chef.
That's it, mate. Salty old dog. Oh, beautiful. That's our smoked mussel aioli. Where's Andy's knife? Just gonna dice some shallots and put those aside. So we've got a 55-day dry-aged ribeye here that we're going to use for the beef component, obviously. We use a hanger steak in the restaurant. It's an economical cut of beef, but it's also got a lot more flavor than a fillet. And you want to dice it nice and small, mainly so that it's palatable. And for portion sizes, you're probably looking at around 50 to 60 grams of beef per person. So a 200-gram steak would do perfectly for a sharing dish between 4 people. And then we're going to mix in, we've got some minced capers and cornichons here. A pretty classic condiment, so we'll mix those all up together with our diced shallots, garnish it with our smoked mussel mayo and some beautiful fried potato crisps, but we'll assemble that later on when we've got some folks in the dining room and Andy and I are under the pump crying in the corner.
Beautiful. Well, I think it's time for you to get out, Mitch, because we got lots to do. All right, we're back, and as you can see, there's a bit more happening around us. The boys are getting ready back there. The tables are set, but we thought we'd just finish these dishes for you quickly. So this is how the soufflés come out of the oven once they're turned out. Simply got to pour a little bit of cream on top of that, and a bit more Gruyere, and then into a 180-degree oven for about 10 minutes. So while that's happening, Sammy, do you want to show us the rest of your dish, mate?
Sure can. So we've got our beef that we chopped earlier. We've got our capers and cornichon, our diced shallots. We've got some chives as well.
Lovely.
A little bit of flaky sea salt. We go a little bit of olive oil. We're not going to dress this with too much because there's heaps of seasoning in the mussel. We'll give this a really good mix. A little touch of black pepper, and then we're just going to plate this and just kind of let it free fall.
You don't want to press it into a ring mold?
No, we don't need to be pretty around here, mate.
That's good.
My mug makes up for it. We've got our smoked mussel aioli that we're just going to
Nice and generous one.
elegantly pipe over because it does season the dish.
Lovely.
We've got our potato chips that young Andy fried earlier. And that is our beef tartare with smoked mussel aioli, fried potato chips. Delicious.
All right, the souffle, we've got a real simple mesclun salad. So a little vinaigrette, just dressed well. You want the acidity of the dressing to cut through all that cheese. And we're going to lay that around the outside, and our souffle will go in the middle. A few candied walnuts here, just for some texture. Close along, it's almost ready. Sammy's oven's a bit on the
Temperamental.
It's on the brink.
Just like you.
I think we're on here. Stunning, some might say.
Look at that.
Souffle in the middle. There you have it. Twice cooked Gruyere souffle. Way better than this bloody raw beef stuff.
Controversial.
All right, we need to keep getting set up because we've got a bunch of people coming in, but stay around because you can watch me go down like a sack of potatoes on the bus.
On the dishes.
On the dishes. How's the first 2 courses gone, Sammy? Easy. Easy money.
How's it all going, mate?
It's good. Just set on the main course. All going pretty well, pretty smoothly. No
respected in here, eh?
Always. Well, there you go. Serve us over. How did I do, Sam?
Good, mate. Very well. Better than expected.
Food looked good. Super fun night. Everyone seems to be having fun.
Yeah.
And I think we should do it again soon.
We should. Full restaurant. Happy bellies. Happy days.
Thanks for watching, legends. Like if you took anything from this video, subscribe if you're not, and we'll see you next week for another recipe.
Peace.
Peace. To the dishes.
I fucking love public speaking, so I'll make this real short. I know you guys have all come to see me tonight, so thanks so much for coming in. It's been awesome. Nothing to do with this chump at all. Hope you all enjoyed the food, and I'll let this man say a couple of words.
Thanks, Sammy. I've known Sammy for years, like over two decades. We went to school together, we've cooked together around the world, lived together around the world, and he genuinely is one of the best human beings I know. His nickname is Sammy Sweetheart for good reason. So if you see him now around, you know for now, you've got to call him Sammy Sweetheart. Huge
Good
thanks
man.
to Sammy to let us come and do this tonight, and a thanks to the whole team who made this happen. So thank you, everybody.
And thank you guys. Thank you. Thanks, guys. I didn't cry.
Still time.
Still time.